Yo, what's up with it, y'all? It's JD and I'm back with another quick video. And today I want to share with you guys my most recent transformation, which is the one that I'm currently going through. But before we get into the video, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share the video. Now let's get back into it. Now, life should be full of personal growth and transformations. That's mental, physical, and spiritual. One of the biggest transformations in my life started in 2017. And within 2 years, I completely changed my body, my mindset, and I started to tap into my spiritual side. I went from eating unhealthy, getting drunk at clubs on a nightly basis, chasing women for validation, and having almost no self-reflection, to moving to an island, immersing myself into a state of solitude, no alcohol for a year and a half, vegetarian eating, and getting into nature on a daily basis. The funny thing about transformations is that we rarely only change in one aspect of our life. It's difficult to change the physical without changing the mental and the spiritual. A lot of the inner work that I was doing during my growth process was manifesting into the physical form. The discipline of fasting and staying away from alcohol manifested into weight loss. The daily practice of getting outdoors and training calisthenics manifested into muscle development. The routine of reading and meditating led to self-reflection and spiritual growth. Although my transformation was life-changing and provided astronomical growth, there was a key element missing from my life, and that was balance. I went from over-socializing myself, living recklessly when it came to my interactions with women, to almost antisocial in a monk mode state. And personally, I don't think either way of living is healthy over the long haul. And now I just view them both as necessary chapters in my overall book. Now let's fast forward to my next major transformation, the transformation that I'm going through right now. I would say it started around April of 2021 after I was going through a pretty difficult breakup. I was 35 years old, and believe it or not, it was the first time in my life that a woman had ever broke up with me. My ego took a major hit. I was hating my job. I'd hit a plateau with my calisthenics training, and doing the same workouts over and over just wasn't doing it for me anymore. I believe that hitting low points and plateaus in life are blessings in disguise and typically are the catalyst for change and growth. I also believe that the right people come into our lives at the right times. It's up to us to take the nuggets of wisdom that each person intentionally or unintentionally provides us. Now, I'd say in late summer, probably around August of 2021, I met a series of people who gave me some new perspectives in different areas of my life. One of the most important people was my boy James. If you guys been watching my channel, you guys seen that I run a different YouTube channel with him, High Octane Calisthenics. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. But if you haven't seen me and James' channel, go ahead and subscribe to High Octane Calisthenics. The link will be in the description box below. Now, when I first met James, I'd see him at the park every day around 6 a.m. training. And eventually we started making some small conversations, which eventually led to deeper conversation and us sharing some training tactics. James' view on training was and still is to go all out and don't leave anything in the tank. Now, at this point, I was definitely in somewhat of a maintenance mode. I was satisfied with the limited skills that I knew, satisfied with where my body was at physically. Now, James' mindset sparked a PR mentality in me and renewed a hunger in me to gain new skills and push my body to the absolute limits. When it comes to calisthenics and life, there is no finish line. Comfort is an illusion and success is a goalpost that keeps getting pushed back further and further away with every accomplishment. This new calisthenics transformation continued to evolve once I quit my job and traveled to South America. Eventually, I ended up in a city called Salvador, where I started training with this calisthenics team called the Octane team. It was a perfect community for me. A few of the guys, including my boy Guillermo, you guys can check out his Instagram. I'll leave that in the description box below. But they pushed me to start training planche, which at the time seemed like an impossible movement, to be honest with you. I started running through progressions with him and a few other guys who were at a higher level than me. And to be honest, I didn't really think anything would come of it. I didn't really believe that I'd be able to hit the planche or the straddle planche anytime soon. I didn't really care either, to be honest with you, but I was definitely enjoying the training and the calisthenics wisdom that I was absorbing while I was in Brazil. So eventually my 90-day visa was up in Brazil and I had to take a trip to another country for a few days before re-entering Brazil. I decided to hit up Argentina for 5 days and then head back to Brazil, but to a city called Florianopolis. I booked a round trip ticket, but I never actually ended up using a return ticket. Argentina was another dope experience, despite what many people warned me about. A lot of people were telling me that Argentina was racist and, you're not going to have a good time there and there's really no point of going. But in my opinion, you truly have to experience things for yourself and see the world through your own lens. I met some super solid individuals in Argentina, including some dope calisthenics athletes. One of them was my homeboy Jose from the Pro-Barras YouTube channel. I'm gonna leave that link in the description box below as well. Now in Argentina, I unlocked a bunch of new movements. One of them was a Tiger Bend handstand. Another one was the 90-degree handstand push-up. Now these are movements that I've kind of always wanted to do in the back of my head, but I just never really got to it. But once I got these movements down, I started to build the confidence that I might be able to hit that planche one day. Now, as dope as my South America experience was, it was eventually time to get back to the States. And when I got back to the States, me and James ended up linking up on the East Coast for another one of our week-long calisthenics blitzes. I think both of us needed some fresh energy, and I was actually going through an injury at the time. But if you guys have ever experienced this, the energy that you get from a great training partner can spark a wave that lasts for, a good amount of time, even when you guys aren't even physically in the same place. And to be honest with you, I'm still riding that wave right now. Now, after training with James for that week, I eventually started knocking off personal records in weighted calisthenics. I hit the straddle planche for the first time and started unlocking a plethora of new movements. One of the biggest aspects of this latest transformation is that my calisthenics journey has morphed into almost a purely performance-based pursuit. Now, as I was stating before, with all the calisthenics and performance growth, my body made some major changes as well. I put on a lot of size. I was about 178 pounds when I left Hawaii, and I'm probably sitting around 190 pounds today, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. I packed on a bunch of muscle, and it's really helped my performance. Now, with all the physical transformations, with all the performance transformations, I think the most important transformation I've went through over the past year and some change has been the mental transformation. Now, I've always considered myself somewhat of a nuanced thinker, but even people who think in a nuanced way in certain areas of life can think black and white in certain topics. And for me, I've opened my mind and started thinking a little bit more critically in a lot of different aspects of life. And a couple examples would be relationships and what I actually want to get out of life. Now, one of the beauties of growth is the fact that we can actually look back on, where our mind was at maybe a year ago, maybe 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and we can see the development, we can see the growth. And I can look back on some of my videos that I made and some of my opinions about dating and women and see that my perspective was coming from a less informed and less experienced place. Now, I still keep those videos up to date because it's documentation of where I was at that particular point in my journey. Even if I don't agree with myself at that previous state or that previous chapter in my life. When it comes to a lot of our perspectives, I think we can get caught up in the comfort of delusion. So we choose the delusional perspective over the truth. And I see this a lot on YouTube as well, is that people get into these delusional echo chambers and they just stay in there and they just live in that place. And what it does is it really just stunts our growth. The truth is typically not as palatable as delusion and comfort, so we stray away from it in certain aspects of life. I think of this as somewhat of a mental plateau. Just like we go through physical plateaus in calisthenics, we can go through mental and spiritual plateaus as well. I think delusion is like that instant gratification that makes us feel good, and the truth is like that delayed gratification process that takes a little bit more time to get to, takes a little bit more time to get used to. But guys, this is my transformation 2.0 when it comes down to calisthenics and when it comes down to the mental side of things. There's more transformations to come for me. I'm far from a finished product on all levels. I'm still growing more and more every single day. We all should be growing more and more every single day. Never stop learning, never stop pushing yourself. We can learn from everybody, even the people that we don't agree with. If you guys need help along your journey and are interested in one-on-one coaching or a consultation, hit up my website. That's Travelsthenix.com. If you want to support the channel, you can also scoop up some of my growth season merch. That's available at Travelsthenix.com/shop. The link will be in the description box for all of this stuff. I hope you guys are having a great day out there. I'll holla at you guys later. Peace.